They wanted to be what the rabbi was. Everything that the rabbi represented, they wanted to be that. And I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating that Jesus grows up in this culture. We read that people call him rabbi. He went to school. He memorized the scriptures. He went through the process. He became a rabbi himself. He went through the whole process. Oftentimes rabbis would become rabbis after all their schooling was up at the age of 30. When did Jesus start his ministry? 30 years old. There were some rabbis in that culture, and I'm going to wrap up with this. There were some rabbis in that culture that had special authority. They called it shmiha. And that meant that they were rabbis with special authority. That authority had to be given to them by like the laying on of hands by other rabbis that had that special authority. So when you read through the scriptures and Jesus was teaching, that meant that Jesus had the opportunity, he had the ability to translate the scriptures and interpret the scriptures himself. Not to just go by traditional interpretation, but to interpret them himself. It's special authority. And so when you read through the scriptures, you see, like, what is this new teaching? That, you would hear the crowd say, what is this new teaching? And with authority. Like, they recognize something different. Now, Jesus, then, if you look, and he goes in, before he leaves, he gives the disciples the Great Commission. What does he say? All authority on heaven and earth has been given to me. And he gives it to the disciples, and he says, go. He's giving the disciples that authority to go. He says, go and what? Make disciples. Go and make disciples. The fact that these people stand before these Pharisees and these rulers of the temple, and they say these people are unskilled, ordinary men. What's interesting is when Jesus finds them, what are they doing? What are the disciples doing when Jesus finds them and calls them to be disciples? Fishing. What does that mean about the kind of student they were? Not good students. They were average. They went to follow the family business. But unlike the tradition of the time where they would choose a rabbi, Jesus chose them. And he tells them that. You have not chosen me, I have chosen you. He's chosen them because he believes in them. And he gives them the commission that this church, God's kingdom that is on the move, that is growing, is commissioned to you. I give you the authority. Now go and reach the world with it. Take this message that one name, that no one else, no other name. There's no other name given under heaven by which people must be saved. Take that message and go to the world and make disciples. And a small group of disciples stood before the rulers, stood before authorities, and went to the known world at the time. And you and I are here because they were committed to discipling one another. Because they were committed to teaching the scriptures and to teaching the ways of God. And you and I are here today because of it. Go and make disciples. A small, a few, made a huge, huge difference. Okay, everybody take that piece of paper.